Hello everyone, the cartoon critic of your questions to you. And yes, I did change my name, and I'm gonna keep it that way. Anyway, tonight we're gonna make a bad episode about Brian. Can you guys just one?
And no, not that one. And no, not that one.
Okay. I get those episodes eventually, just not now. And plus, my question was rhetorical, since, well, you can see the title on your webpage, and it's like right there, and it's Brian's a bad father. So let's get a move on, shall we? The episode begins with not Brian, but with Quagmire, Peter, and Jill going hunting. Quagmire is worried that Peter's gun is now in safety. He shows him that's fine, and Peter actually shoots him, and Quagmire is understandably pissed. So Quagmire rightfully ends the friendship, and Peter and Quagmire stay mad at each other for the whole episode. Even though Peter's a jackass who did shoot Quagmire, so he has no right to be mad at Quagmire. So their part of the episode ends with Quagmire shooting Peter in the head. Don't worry, he's still alive, somehow. Now with the main part of the episode. This episode begins with Brian getting a phone call from his son, Dylan. Hey, you guys remember Dylan, right? Dylan is Brian's son that he didn't know about for years, and he pretty much acted like a dick to everyone. I would say father like son, but Dylan's a much better character than Brian. Anyway, when Brian was in the phone call with him, it's clear that he doesn't want to spend time with him by making excuses. And you know what? I don't understand why he's avoiding his son. In the first episode with Dylan, he loved bonding with him, and Brian did care about him. He cared about him so much that when he left, he says this.
I'm gonna miss that boy.
So, why is he a deadbeat now? It's kind of confusing. Later, Stewie finds him still at home, and he's flaking out on Dylan, and he says this.
Yeah, you know, Stewie, I've been thinking about it, and I haven't seen him in years, and at this point, I just don't see what could possibly be gained from me getting together with him.
You know what? I'm gonna play this clip, and it's from 3 episodes later.
He's your son. Don't you want someone to bond with?
Why don't you do that, Brian? Reconnect with your son. Bond with him instead of being such a hypocrite. Ugh. Did you guys know this is like 2 episodes later when he's brought back to life? It made me wish he was still dead. On the news, Brian sees that his son is starting a TV show, and Brian meets his son at the restaurant, and Brian convinces Dylan to let him be a writer on the show by telling him this way they can spend a lot of time together. Manipulation. Follow the year, ladies and gentlemen. So Brian does what he does best, uses his great writing skills to make the show even worse and gets himself fired. And Dylan figures out that Brian was only using him.
You know what, Dad? I'm starting to think that you've just been using me to advance your career. God, you're a terrible father. I never want to see you again.
Later, we see Brian, and he actually feels bad for what he did. Odd, because when people usually call him out on his crap, he usually lashes at them. Brian tries to go back inside the studio to apologize to Dylan, but he's no longer allowed in there. So Stewie dresses up in disguise, and he goes on set to apologize for Brian.
To have you back in his life, and now he feels like he's lost you all over again.
But how do I know he won't just hurt me again?
You don't. You never know that. But isn't taking a risk better than not having a dad?
Dylan finds Brian, and he does forgive him, and their relationship is now stable again. And that was the episode, ladies and gentlemen. Now, was it really that bad? Yes. Peter in this episode is just an asshole. I mean, he shoots his friend, he has no remorse about it. And you know what? Jill and Quagmire should have ended their friendship with him a long time ago. And Brian is no better at tricking his son so he can try to advance his career. Like I said before, this is 2 episodes later where he is brought back to life. And we're all reminded why we hate this character so much. Like his reasons for being an atheist.
If there were a god, would he have put you here on Earth with a flat chest and a fat ass?
I'm made in his image.
Really? Would he give you a smoking hot mom like Lois and then have you grow up looking like Peter?
Oh, how about the time you gave Stewie herpes?
You bastard! You knew you had herpes and you still agreed to swap blood with me!
Look, relax. It's not that big a deal.
Not that big a deal! It's a disgusting, unsightly, unsavory disease and it lasts for life!
And last but not least...
Hurry! I can't hold it!
Okay, let me just unstrap my baby.
Oh, slipping, sorry.
Yeah, I know the last one was a cutaway, but it's still an example of Brian being a dick. Look, this is not the worst Brian episode. For the matter of fact, it's not the worst Peter episode either. I mean, yes, they're both awful in this episode, but I'll show you clips of other episodes of Family Guy that are much worse. And trust me, and I will review those in the future. Ugh, I just know I'm gonna be angry. So anyway, guys, I am the Cartoon Critic, and I'll see you all next time.